All right, guys. So today we have a very, very big story coming out of the LOL offseason. This one involves both Europe and North America at the same time, and obviously Flyquest and Kcorp being two of the main teams, in this storyline here. This comes from Wooloo, Alejandro, and Evie. Everyone hard at work right now during the offseason to get us all the latest details and scoops and all that stuff. But this one is Yukino to remain with Kcorp Blue, declining Flyquest offer. Very, very spicy story here. The details we have is that Yukino declined Flyquest offer despite an agreement between KC and Flyquest. So, Yukino will remain with KCB next season as announced by the organization's CEO and founder, Kometo, during a Twitch stream. During the offseason, Cheap Esports followed the situation closely with the help of several sources. Despite receiving an offer from Flyquest, the young American player has chosen to continue his journey with the team, with which he recently won the EMEA Masters Summer title. Yukino has just completed his first year in the LFL after departing the NACL at the end of last year. Throughout the year, he steadily rose in form, ultimately establishing himself as a fan favorite. Flyquest and Kcorp had already agreed on a buyout for the 19-year-old player, which means that the final decision remained in Yukino's hands. In the end, the player decided that he prefers to stay with Kcorp, believing that the decision fits him better in the long term. The player is also expected to extend his contract with the team as a consequence. Now, this is very, very interesting because we've also seen Yukino be pretty outspoken. There's been, interviews and clips and quotes and stuff recently where he has been like, hey guys, like recommending to other North American players, like, hey, try out Europe, come to Europe. It's professional. It's, all the things you're looking for over here. There's more opportunities. There's, more fans. There's just better everything. And especially with him being in it with an organization like Kcorp, again, you're getting that fan base. You're getting that boost. It's going to give you more opportunities. It's going to give you more eyeballs. And yeah, the LEC, has definitely been, maybe not on the rift all the time, but over the past couple of years, it seems like the LEC has been pulling away, from the LCS in a lot of different ways. And yeah, Yukino has been kind of one of the outspoken people saying, hey, yeah, I went from North America to Europe. I love it. And other people should do the same. And now he's put his money where his mouth is. Again, he had a starting LCS roster spot with Flyquest. Flyquest has, been one of the best North American teams, one of the best Western teams over the past couple of years. Now, obviously, they're in a rebuilding mode, but it seems like, they were willing to rebuild around him. And he has denied that. Denying an LCS starting spot to stay in ERLs is definitely an interesting and eye-opening decision. Definitely, not a great look for the LCS, not a great look for Flyquest, but a huge, that shows so much about how much he believes in Europe, how much he believes in KC, how much he's loving it over there, how great of an experience he's having, and that I do think is going to speak really, really, strongly to other North American players and other players who are considering, NACL, ERLs, LEC, LCS, all that kind of stuff. I mean, this is a big, big, big deal, and this leaves Flyquest, without their first option in Inspired, and potentially now without their second, we don't know for sure, but obviously if they were offering for Yukino, maybe he was their second option. So now, they're going to be having to go lower and lower and lower down their totem pole. A surprising decision during his Twitch broadcast where Kometo explained this decision without naming Flyquest. He confirmed that the final choice rested entirely with the player. Yukino independently decided to remain with KC. As a member of the French organization's LFL roster, he has often expressed how comfortable he feels in the team environment. In an interview with Cheap Esports following the EMEA Masters final, he stated his desire to continue competing in Europe. And again, it's easy to say that, but now you have an LCS offer in front of you, now what are you going to do? Especially when, no LEC offers necessarily came his way or whatever. Yet Flyquest appeared to have every reason to convince a jungler to return to his home region. Having recently lost Inspired, the LTA champions were looking to rebuild their roster with Yukino as a central piece. Nonetheless, the player ultimately chose to stay with KC. Joining KCB at 19 years old during the spring split as an import, Yukino progressively improved, reaching the LFL final and the EMEA Masters semifinals in his very first split. He followed up in the next split with increasingly impressive performances, capturing both the LFL title and the EMEA Masters, delivering standout series against Los Ratones in the semifinals and Los Heretics in the final. Thanks to this success, KCB qualified for the LEC Versus event, which will replace next year's winter split. He will then return to the LFL for the spring and summer, although the LEC jungler position will be filled by Yike, who's obviously very talented in his own right. Yukino will nonetheless remain part of KCB. However, any chance of a 2026 promotion is effectively blocked since the LEC's import slots are already taken in both solo lanes. So again, a huge, huge, huge story coming out today that, it looks like Kcorp and Flyquest had a deal done. They had an agreement in place. Yukino was set to move back to the LCS, set to go to Flyquest, but it has been denied by the player himself, choosing that he would rather stay in the ERLs, rather stay with KC, rather stay at KCB specifically than go have that starting LCS spot with Flyquest. So pretty crazy news. And like I said, we're going to have to see what Flyquest decides to do here because now, like I said, they've lost out on a couple of different players. It's been overall pretty bad offseason for Flyquest and missing out on their guy for him to take an ERL spot instead. that's going to be a little bit of a black eye on not just Flyquest, but like I said, the entire LCS and the entire LCS ecosystem itself as well. Especially, imagine if Yukino can continues to develop and continues to get better. Say he turns into like starting caliber jungler or like a a superstar level jungler or something like that. That's going to be very, very bad for the LCS. But either way, right now, big news going on. Really crazy story. Yukino to remain with KCB, declining Flyquest offer. I don't know. That's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Hopefully catch you in the next one. Until then. Peace.